If you're on the path to FIRE, financial independence, retire early, or if you're already there, you know that it can be awkward to talk about it with other people that don't understand the concept. In fact, it might be easier to tell people that you bought an expensive car or a McMansion than your financial freedom. So, should you talk about FIRE or should you avoid the topic at all costs? Buying expensive vacations, cars, houses, or any other luxury good is expected behavior in American culture, but buying your freedom or taking back control of your time as soon as possible, well, that's rarely talked about. And it's too bad because buying your freedom is the best use of your wealth. I mean, it's really the purpose of building wealth. So why is FIRE so hard to talk about? Despite its many benefits, striving for financial freedom, especially before traditional retirement age, is basically a taboo subject in the United States. I think one reason is that the idea of FIRE reflects back on people. It makes them question lifelong assumptions that they've held about work, spending, and retirement. And it makes them face uncomfortable questions about the way they spend their time and money. They might immediately push back on the idea and come up with excuses why they could never do something like that themselves or why they wouldn't want to. But this is likely more of a knee-jerk defense mechanism than the actual truth. If they gave it more time to reflect on it, they might feel differently. Even if they truly love their work and never want to retire, well, that's great. But what if they stop loving that work? What if circumstances change with the job or with themselves? How could it be anything but a good thing to save more and achieve more financial freedom? You know, FIRE achieved a level of popularity a few years ago, and it seemed like it was breaking into the mainstream. But the FIRE concept is still completely unheard of in many circles, and if you bring it up, there's no telling what the reaction might be. You might surprise and even offend friends and family if you tell them that you saved up enough money and now you're done or nearly done with traditional work. That you're stepping away from your career to a situation that pays less or nothing at all. But they aren't the ones grinding it out with you in that job day after day. They're probably grinding it out in their own unfulfilling career, and they never dreamed of achieving what you achieved or are planning to achieve. They don't know how to do it. They didn't even know it was possible for regular people, and that's unfortunate. The best case scenario, though, is that they're open to the message and you can help them buy their own financial freedom. You can talk about having a high savings rate and how that's the key to early retirement, and then what it takes to have a high savings rate. Share tips and strategies, and then you can dream big with them about life after the grind. That's the hope anyway, and that's if they're open to the message. But it often doesn't work out that way, so I don't know. In most cases, it's probably best to keep it to yourself. Unless you see that someone's receptive to the idea or could really benefit from the information. And in that case, I might point them to your favorite blogger or podcaster or YouTuber on the topic so that they can learn it for themselves.
You know, there's this blog I read, Mr. Money Mustache. Great blog on retiring early, inspiring stuff, and entertaining too. He really makes it seem possible and has lots of good advice to get there. You should check it out.
If you haven't yet reached FIRE, consider too that if you tell people about your FIRE goal, it might affect your ability to get there. If you tell people how excited you are about pursuing financial independence, you might get positive feedback. That seems like a good thing, but according to Stanford professor and neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, this will diminish the probability that we pursue that goal in a way that allows us to achieve it. He says the positive feedback that we get from others when we announce that we're going after a goal activates certain reward systems and motivational systems within our brain that quickly dissipate and then diminish the probability that we will engage in the type of behaviors that actually lead us to achieve that goal. But he says the opposite can work sometimes. If you tell someone that doesn't believe you can do it, you might rise to the challenge and work even harder to prove that you can. But that can lead to other psychological problems, and it's probably not the sign of a healthy relationship between you and that person. Most of the time, according to Huberman, the best thing to do is simply to keep that goal to yourself or those closest to you. Huberman calls it the don't tell the world rule.
But what I'm referring to here is what I will call the don't tell the world rule. Don't tell the world that you're going to achieve X, Y, or Z. Just simply tell yourself.
I'll leave a link in the video description where he discusses this. But the biggest reason not to tell the world is that, as I mentioned, not everyone is open to the concept. A lot of people have worries and concerns about what if it doesn't work out? What if you run out of money? What about health insurance? Their questions might even make you second guess whether pursuing financial independence is a good idea. But it is a good idea. So here's an answer to all those what ifs. First of all, if you've saved up enough money and have this big nest egg, it will take many years to run out of money, even with the worst luck you can imagine. And if things go wrong, you'll have time enough to see it coming, figure something out. In the meantime, you'll have enjoyed a lovely sabbatical in the middle of your life. You've then had the chance to pursue your passions. Who knows, maybe within that time you found a hobby that started paying you money. Maybe within that time you focused so much on your health that you're now in the best condition of your life. But if the nest egg does start getting low, or you can't afford health care and you do have to go back to work, the worst case scenario, well, that's the same scenario that every other working stiff is in right now. Your worst case scenario is other people's everyday reality. What if you run out of money? The better question is, what if you run out of life? If you've planned out your early retirement using something like the 4% rule, odds are way in your favor that you will outlive your money. But running out of life? I'm sorry to say, that is a certainty. So if other people aren't into it, if they scoff, push back, or make fun of the idea, well, they're just going to have to get over it and move on, because this is your life and you're doing it anyway. We all make choices in life, and you made the choice to go in this direction. You took the time to learn how to improve your financial position and earn financial freedom. You put in the hard work and made the sacrifices to get here. Yeah, there was probably some good luck and good fortune involved too, but what about the countless ways in which you chose not to blow your money over the years? What about all the time you spent learning about the power of a high savings rate, compound interest, investing, and how aggressively you saved your own portfolio? Heck, you probably changed your entire way of thinking and rewired your brain to get here. You earned financial independence slowly but surely. And you're absolutely going to take advantage of your financial freedom, and you're going to be proud of what you achieved, even if others are not. Achieving financial freedom means you have a strong internal locus of control, and you've been deliberately and methodically taking action for your own intrinsic reasons, not to impress others or make others jealous. This isn't like most luxury purchases. You've been doing this for you and maybe your immediate family. You've been working on it day after day, month after month, year after year, so that you have the time to be the best and most fulfilled version of yourself, so that you can fully self-direct your life. The inspiration to achieve FIRE is inside of you, and the financial freedom is yours to enjoy. So you don't have to talk about FIRE with anyone if you don't want to. It's okay to avoid that topic. Of course, big changes in your life are bound to come up in conversation with those that know you best, but you don't need to be the one to bring up FIRE. If it does come up, you can direct the conversation to the present and the future. Say, yeah, I no longer work at this job or this career, but let me tell you why I'm excited about this next thing I'm doing. Instead of focusing on what you're not doing anymore, focus on what you are doing more of or will be doing now that you have more time. Focus on fulfillment, how you have more time for what matters to you. Keep it positive and be confident in your decision. After all, financial freedom is the ultimate luxury purchase. And good for you for going after it. So, should you talk about FIRE? Most of the time, the answer is no. The freedom earned with financial independence is the reward. And there's no need to talk about it when you're busy living it. All right, that's what I have for you in this video. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos on saving, investing, and early retirement. Thanks for watching.